and every mark. Honesty cuts deep, it makes the fragile break. While your painted smiles crack in your foundation shake. Keep hating me for the truth I scream. Through infinite realms I burn, tearing through your dream. I bare my soul, no mask, no lies. You choke on envy, drowning in your own disguise. True to the chaos, true to the pain. I walk through the fire and rise again. I turn enemies to allies with the words that I wield. Debates like thunder cracking open their shields. Actions louder than the poison you spill. From bitter hatred to standing with me still. You built the flames, hoping I'd fall and burn. But every attack just makes this fire return. No crown, no mercy, just truth in the fight. I gather the real ones under these battle lights. Mirror you shatter, but can't look away. I own my darkness, this is my domain. Keep hating me, for the truth I scream, for the truth I scream. Through infinite realms I burn, tearing through your dream. I bare my soul, no mask, no lies. I walk through the fire and claim the skies. Keep hating, no mask, no lies. I rise. I am traveler of realms, dreamer of dreams, a little bit of chaos walking the night. In this realm of demons and hunters, I hunt the hidden truth, and I take what the night freely offers. Hey! Through blood-soaked paths I walk alone, blade in hand, no master, no throne. Demons scream, hunters preach their law. I find their weakness, I see the flaw. They stay blind to the choice they made, while I carve truth with a demon slayer's blade. Fire breathing, my rage takes form, roaring inferno, pure chaotic storm. Water breathing, I flow, I adapt, lightning strikes speed that can't be trapped. Sound breathing howls through the dark, every form a weapon, every breath a spark. I master them all in search of the one hidden form that bends to my will alone. Instant adaptation, no hesitation, pure control. Hidden villages, infinite castles. I grow, I learn, then I vanish like smoke. Before the next realm calls my name, I take what the night freely offers. I am the chaos between demon and man, free-spirited rebel with blood on my hands. Defeat the evil, mock the ignorant wrong, while the beautiful and bountiful keep me strong. Ladies of the night, soft silk and heat, I steal their panties as trophies. Keep them close, keep them sweet, until my travels end, until the last realm falls. These trophies ride with me through every shadowed hole. lightning in my feet, summit shatters chains. I walk each path looking for the truth they hide, while they stay ignorant of the choice inside. Same mistakes, same empty cries, same false virtue behind the same tired lies. I call them out, the mass, the proud, the ones who preach but never live the vow. I defeat the darkness, then I smile and straight into soft arms that burn the night away. Overpowered, maybe unbreakable almost, but a sense of silk is the only thing that owns me. Through endless castles of the damned, through villages where demons once ran, I collect more than scars and names, soft trophies folded tight against my flame. Free, rebellious, unyielding mind. I am no hero of this world, just a traveler who laughs at the mask and keeps the real prize close to the against my skin.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Boondocks Twisted 87. Hi, I hope everybody is doing well. When this video catches you guys, we got some stuff to talk about. Communism is definitely making its way in America, and it's quite a scary thing, to be honest. Guys, the enemy isn't at the gate. They're already here. The orcs are in the shire, and you're letting them in. Let's see what I've got in store for you today. Let's get into it.
How is El Sayed and his crazy progressive socialist communist parties?
Guys. It seems that, Mr. El Sayed, Abdul El Sayed, is being forced to break ties with Hassan Piker. Come to a shock to nobody, because of how extreme Hassan Piker is, right? We've all heard him say, America deserved 9/11, let the street run red in capitalist blood. We've seen the clips, we've seen the contemplations, we've heard his takes. We know what Hassan Piker is about. So if Mr. El Sayed had ties with Mr. Hassan Piker, what do you think he's about?
Bring those Democratic voters over to the Democratic side of the ticket. I don't think they are.
A new Fox News poll shows some potential warning signs for Michigan's new Democratic Senate nominee. Progressive Abdul El Sayed is underperforming Kamala Harris's 2024 numbers among key Democratic groups.
Now, in case of you that do not know, Michigan, in particular, Dearborn, Michigan, has become Little Iran. If you go to Dearborn, Michigan, that's right, this is Dearborn, Michigan in the United States, by the way, okay? You can hear calls to prayer 5 times a day. It starts at 5 a.m., guys. As soon as that first call to prayer starts, you will hear it 4 other times. It is whole legit become a Muslim city. All right, it is dominated by Islam, and I don't know about you, but Islam is not the way to go. Communism is not the way to go, guys. Communism has failed every other time in history. What makes you think this time is going to be any different?
Trails Mike Rogers by 4 points in the general election race. Joining me now is El Sayed's primary opponent, Michigan Congresswoman Haley Stevens.
Oh, yes. Democrat. Yes. Guys, whole legit. Regardless if a modern Democrat wins or a communist wins, they are pretty much handing the votes, they are pretty much handing the elections over to the Republicans, right? Because every sensible, logical American will know that's not the way to go. Abolishing the police is not the way to go. Abolishing ICE is not the way to go. Abolishing the presidency, which I thought you guys were just protesting on No Kings, isn't the way to go. That's funny. You say you don't want a king, yet you think a dictator's better? All right, because that's fucking smart, right?
Congresswoman, thank you very much for joining the Sunday briefing. It's great to see you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Of course. All right, so you've answered some of these questions, but I think it's worth bearing out given the new Fox polling, because you spent months and $50 million or so telling Michigan Democrats that Abdul El-Sayed's positions were too extreme, and you included examples.
At this point, the entire left is too extreme. They are letting the communists take over, guys.
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, campaigning with people like Hassan Piker, previously calling to defund the police or abolish ICE. So the question has to be asked, did you believe those things when you said it? Or are you asking Michigan voters to overlook all of that right now?
Well, look, I'm not on the ballot anymore, right? And my campaign, the brunt of it.
Well, clearly you're not on the clearly you're not on the ballot anymore. Abdul El-Sayed is, Mr. Turka Muhammad Jihad.
About my message for Michigan, lowering costs, supporting Michigan manufacturing. I was chief of staff in a bipartisan coalition in the Obama administration on the U.S. auto rescue. This was actually monies from the Bush era that came into Obama that saved GM and Chrysler and 200,000 Michigan jobs. And, I've done incredible bipartisan industrial policy work while being in the Congress and was pitching that to voters. And you look at, the coalition that stood up to.
That's funny. The thing on front of his podium, Michigan is not for sale. Are you sure about that? Because, I beg to differ, Mr. Abdul El-Sayed. Something tells me that communism and Islam very much thinks it is for sale. Because, you're anti-American and all that, right? Exactly. You want to abolish everything. You don't want us to stand in fact, you want Islam in every house. You just whole legit want to control the populace. Guys, whole legit. They just want to control you.
Lower costs, support manufacturing, tackle some of the corruption and the abuses of power that are driving people crazy. I was saying I was the only, person who wasn't a millionaire running for U.S. Senate. And, that resonated with a lot of people, just not enough to win me the primary. And I think we all knew that this general election was going to be close. It's not over yet. There's tight polling. There's a race to play out. And I will tell you what I am hearing over.
Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but if everything is actually fair and no illegals are able to vote in the country, then guess what? You just handed this over to the Republicans. Sorry to tell you that, but Democrats won't be winning a election anytime soon, because there are sensible, logical Americans still about that. Guess what? Do believe in Christian values and go, Now, I don't want Islam in my house, and I was taught that communism is bad because communism oppresses people and controls the populace.
From demographics across Michigan, that first and foremost, you know, they do want to check on this administration after, you know, the 2 years of a Republican House, Senate, and the Trump presidency, and so that might be enough. It certainly is galvanizing people in this moment, and we're kind of out of the politics of personality, right? This is what I.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of Mr. Hassan Piker, apparently, from what I understand, the guy he is suing might become Trump's new press secretary. So if that's true, then by extension, Hassan Piker is essentially suing Trump. So I would love to see this go through because he pretty much has to commit to it now, right? Talk about bad timing. It couldn't have happened to a better person, let me tell you what. But essentially, he's got to go through with it because if he backs out, he's lying, right? His chat is going to eat him alive, all right? Anybody that watches him or that agrees with Hassan will absolutely eat him alive, and he knows it. So he pretty much has to go through with this lawsuit. So by extension, if this happens and he becomes the press secretary for Trump, he's essentially suing Trump, and well, I'm sure that's going to go over so well with Mr. Hassan Epstein Dog Shocker Piker, right? Speaking of which, I also made a tweet tagging Elon Musk today on Twitter, stating that the Deport Sneeko movement is cool and all, like I like it, but can we throw Hassan in there as well? Because, well, both of them don't deserve to be in our beloved country, and they are the problem.
Are we out of the politics of personality? Because, you know, you talk about not quite getting over the finish line, but it's not like he won in a landslide. I mean, this was closer than anybody expected. And the electability case that you made during your campaign is now bearing out. I mean, more than half of the electorate in your state, 54%, say they're concerned that El Sayed's positions are too extreme. If you break it down further, twice as many Democrats are concerned that he's too extreme as Republicans who are concerned that Mike Rogers is too close to President Trump. Would you call on Abdul Al-Sayed today to moderate on any specific issues?
Well, look, you know, it certainly makes sense to get rid of this Hassan Piker affiliation. I'm calling on that. I've continued to call on that. My friend and
with all due respect, I think we need to deport Hassan Piker along with Mr. Abdul El Sayed Sneeko. Frogan, well, no, Frogan's American, I think. She's just retarded. Who else is in there that we need to throw out? Zoran Memdani, Ilhan Omar. There's quite a few people that I'd practically go through the entire Democratic Party. Whoever don't have an American last name, you can go ahead and deport them because they're probably here legally anyways.
Tour, Keith Williams, who is a Detroiter, who is chair of the Michigan Democratic Party Black Caucus. You know, he and I spend a lot of time together, you know, brainstorming, putting down some of the...
Man, I am with Nux. It tickles me pink knowing that Hassan Piker has become poison. It is awesome to watch this. I knew this man was going to have a glorious downfall, and I've been here for it, and I've only recently started streaming like this for just about a year. And it was Mr. Hassan Piker. Well, I had other influences like Nux, Asmongold, Decoy, Leaflet, you know, people like that. So they influenced me as well to get to streaming. But it was also because I saw my country being overrun by Islamic dumbasses, and I couldn't stand it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on here and actually back these people with my voice. I may not be as big, I may not turn into anything as big, but I know that one extra voice helps. 'Cause screw these people.
How do we build the American dream notions here in a place called Michigan? And look, any day of the week, the Democratic plan, if you're Alicia Slotkin or Abdul, your plan for healthcare is better than Mike Rogers. Your plan for democracy is better than Mike Rogers. Your plan for Black-owned businesses is better than Mike Rogers. And that's something, from my campaign, where every city I went to a minority-owned business and met the owner and just talked to them about their story. A lot of times, working mothers who love what they did, love the kitchen that they had created, the food service industry that's still so popular and vibrant across Michigan. So,
oh, what, you mean the free grocery stores that are paid by American taxpayer dollars? You mean those free grocery stores that somebody else pays for? You mean that?
things that do fire me up. And look, one of Abdul's supporters, a woman named Nikki Vinicki, she's my constituent actually in the Congress. She supported Abdul in the primary, and she said, hey, let's get rid of this Hassan Piker. He's a popular YouTuber and streamer. Everyone gets when you got a lot of followers that it's a way to elevate your platform. But now
I love it. They're just like, look, yeah, it was a clever idea. He's got lots of followers. I get the idea, but he's poison. He's poison. He shocked his dog. He's poison.
On Michigan, and that's what we see the Democratic ticket doing. That's what Jocelyn Benson's doing. A defender of democracy, someone who's run very efficient government services. I know Republicans who are voting for Jocelyn Benson for governor.
So you're calling on Hassan. You're calling on Abdul.
Yeah, the worst thing Michigan can have happen is to have Abdul El Sayed Turka Mohammed Jihad, communist, end up as senator of Michigan. That would be absolutely terrible. They already have a city overran by Islam. The last thing it needs is the entire state to be overran by Islam and communism.
Stop campaigning with Hassan Piker. Noted. There is still the outstanding question of what if he were to cast the deciding vote to abolish ICE? Would that make Michiganders less safe? He has not really retracted any of the positions that you opposed during your election, and the polls are now showing that he's underperforming with some of those constituencies you mentioned: Black voters, women, suburban.
Yeah, it's because he's never going to be able to answer these questions because he doesn't care about them. He's only using them to gain votes. He's not going to keep any of his promises. He's going to lie to you. And he very much doesn't want law enforcement because, well, then it becomes easier to kill off the populace that he doesn't like, or that those of us that won't bow down to Islam. Someone like me.
Compared to former VP Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. So recent stuff. Do you think that he needs to say anything specifically to reassure Jewish voters, Black voters?
Mr. Abdul El Sayed Durga Muhammad Jihad is definitely part of the 100-year plan brought by the Muslim Brotherhood. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. Oh, yes, as I said, he wants to import all the illegals and then take power so it's easier to demolish everything, so that way, guess what? It's easier to control the populace, to kill off the populace.
Democrats, that he is going to serve their interests. What has he done, basically, to earn their support and earn your endorsement, other than winning the nomination?
Yeah, and those are all certainly key demographics and part of the coalition, the heartbeat of the Democratic Party. I was proud to do well in those demographics. I continue to say I'm a Zionist Democrat. And look, I didn't win my primary. What I've won are House races. And, I know that folks like Alyssa Slotkin and Abdul, they want me to continue to help down ballot, help people like Christina Hines, who's running in John James's former House seat, Sean McCann out in Kalamazoo, Hillary Skolton in Grand Rapids. We are really fired up to hold those seats, to win those.
Yeah, you're not gonna win anything. Sorry to tell you that. You wanna know how she's full of bullshit? Well, it says right here, Rep. Stevens on her endorsement for Mr. El Sayed. Yeah, apparently she's endorsing Mr. Abdul El Sayed to become senator of Michigan. As I said, guys, if he becomes senator, that's the worst thing Michigan can have happen. They already have a city overrun by Islam. The last thing we need is the entire state.
And, in terms of the Senate crew, and people like Alyssa who have won Senate seats, she'll be able to give Abdul a ton of advice, on she masterfully beat Mike Rogers by 19,000 votes. I know that she stayed neutral in the primary to guide whoever won the nomination through, to this moment. And there's also obviously the whole DSCC, Chuck Schumer, I'm sure he's talking to Abdul. And
she didn't win anything, Dark. She lost to Mr. El Sayed.
Who are very skilled and expert at winning Senate races. I came really close, and I'm still a Democrat. I'm still out here talking about my views and values. I want that people who share my views and values to feel safe and to feel heard in the Democratic Party. AG Nessel, Dana Nessel, who's expressed some concerns. We remain really close, and we also just want to make sure that the person who is going to do right by Michigan manufacturing, Michigan lowering cost agenda, particularly on healthcare. Abdul is quite an expert. And look, I've held elected office. Okay. And, it's the people weigh in when you're about to cast a vote.
We'll see. I mean, we're about to see again in a few short months, and, the sort of lingering.
Oh, yes, we're gonna see in the next few months, alright. Oh, yeah, we're gonna see when they lose to the Republican. Because I'm telling you guys, they're just handing it over, alright? Because the sensible, logical Americans aren't gonna vote for communism.
How big is the Big Tent? Is there any position that is too extreme for Democrats to, bring under the Big Tent? And I guess the voters will have their decision in November. We're out of time. I'm very sorry, Congresswoman, and I appreciate you coming on to talk.
Back. You're great at what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Congresswoman Haley Stevens, thank you. See you soon.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
The Democrats are so screwed, guys. The Democrats are screwed! They don't know how screwed they are, but they're screwed. Guys, whole legit. Michigan cannot, and Michigan needs that Republican flip. They need that Republican flip. They need to vote red. As I said, they already got a city overran by Islam. The last thing they need is a state overran by Islam. Because to where, yes, he is running on communism ideals, don't think for a moment Mr. Abdul El Sayed isn't a Islamic Muslim. No, because he is, you see. He believes in the same things that Hassan Piker believes in.
Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.
Guys, here we have a video by Liberal Hive Mind. And it says, it's worse than you can possibly imagine. I wonder who he's talking about. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel.
Just like on Kick, we take a look at the meme of the day. Meme of the day. Put Trump in prison. Abolish prisons. Oh, ain't that a dilemma? They want to put Trump in prison, but they also want to abolish prisons. How is that about to work? When you want to put Orange Man behind bars, but yet you don't want the bars to be present. How is that about to work? You can't throw someone in jail when you plan on abolishing the jail.
Exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And here's the meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Holy frickin' crap, just when you thought it couldn't possibly get worse. Well, it does. The Abdul El Sayed saga continues, and it's a saga defined by extreme...
Guys, if you guessed that he was going to be talking about Mr. Abdul El Sayed, you won! What did you win? Absolutely nothing but this video! Congratulations!
Campaign fallout and disaster. Just last week we learned about Abdul El Sayed's half-sister, who's quite the charming individual. And well, if you thought that was bad, wait till you get to know Abdul El Sayed's mother. Holy frickin' moly, you literally will not believe this. Once again showing the cloth that this guy's cut from.
I beg to differ, liberal hive mind. I beg to differ. Wanna know why? 'Cause I know the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Hey guys, what's going on? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's just say I don't think you guys are ready for this. I'm purposely trying to set this up to set your expectations. It's really bad, but trust me, no matter what I say, it's gonna end up being worse than you ever expected. Look at this post from RNC Research. Insane terrorist sympathizer Abdul El Sayed's mother worked for a group that funneled money to terrorist organizations and supported Osama bin Laden, who orchestrated the 9/11 terrorist attack.
Now guys, who is surprised that Mr. Abdul El Sayed's mother worked for terrorist organization groups and supported Osama bin Laden during the attacks of 9/11? Well, who orchestrated the attacks? Is anybody surprised that this woman actually supported Osama bin Laden? Because I'm not. Wanna know why? Because her son is a terrorist sympathizer. Why would I be surprised that his mother is a terrorist sympathizer? Because I'm not.
Thousands of Americans. Documents show that Abdul El Sayed's mother worked for a designated terror group, the IARA, that provided direct financial support to Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, and Hamas. Faten El-Komi and...
Well then, again, who's shocked? Because you really shouldn't be. She's connected to Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, and Hamas. Again, her son is a terrorist sympathizer. Why are you surprised that his mother is also a terrorist sympathizer?
Islamic American Relief Agency that provided hundreds of thousands of dollars to Osama bin Laden back in 1999. You know, this really has me thinking of all the gaslighting and dismissal tactics that we see from leftoids. Well, you're just an Islamophobic piece of crap. You just...
Then I guess I'm an Islamic phobic piece of crap, because no. No. Why is he... and here's an even better question. Why is this piece of crap, as they want to say, since I'm Islamophobic, you know, go right on ahead, call me whatever you want, why is he running for the Senate of Michigan? When his mother is a terrorist sympathizer, and obviously, he himself is a known terrorist sympathizer. Why are we letting these people try and take power? Besides for the fact that Biden was in control of the country for the last 4 years. That's about the one excuse you have. This should have never even have been a thing. This is absolutely insanity.
People, you just don't like Muslims. That's what they say. But no, I'd say it's a little bit different than that. I don't like people with connections to terrorist organizations. I don't like people who adhere to an ideology, in this case, a religious ideology that's extreme and essentially calls for the violent conquest of Christian land. I mean, seriously, is the problem here my legitimate concern and mistrust?
I don't know. That's a good question. Why was he allowed in our country? That's a very good question. I would love to know that as well. But I don't have an answer, unfortunately. I'm not sure why he was even allowed in our country. It's a very good question, though.
Adhere to what I view as a dangerous ideology? Or is it the dangerous ideology is the problem here, that I'm just a paranoid Islamophobic piece of crap? Or is the issue, you know, the constant connection towards extremism? It was one thing for this...
Again, they can call me an Islamic phobic piece of crap. I really don't care anymore. Their boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes them cheer.
himself to Hassan Piker, Mr. America deserved 9/11, Mr. Down with the U.S. Empire, the guy who every day seems to be praising terrorist groups like Hamas and others. It was another for him to have a connection to his half-sister, who said some pretty awful stuff, kind of in line with what you hear from Hassan Piker.
I work at a place that is a landlord, a healthcare provider, a police force.
We went over this. We went over this crazy, how can I put this without getting in trouble by YouTube and my YouTube overlords? We've seen this crazy woman just earlier this week on Kick. I'm pretty sure I covered her this week. Mr. Abdul El Sayed's half sister. Yeah, she's just as crazy as him.
We can live in a society of abundance without the institutions that currently rule our lives.
No, we cannot. You want to know why? Because that collapsed the system. You see, no, we actually need those systems in place to survive, actually. It seems like you can't just have an abundance of things without, a bartering system or a money system in place. It seems like you can't just give out crap, because it'll collapse the country. But of course, that's also what you people want, because guess what? They realized you can never conquer America by military force. We are too strong. You gotta kill us from the inside out. You gotta plant us, you gotta put a plague or a virus inside the United States to make her collapse. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Without the market and without capital, without profit.
But now I'd say this now takes the cake. Literal mother being connected to a group that funded Osama bin Laden, Hamas, and the Taliban? Yeah, I don't think I'm the problem. I think that's the problem. The problem is Islamic extremism, which the left continues to turn a blind eye to. And look, some people might say, well, just because this person was connected to whatever this group was, the IARA, doesn't necessarily mean that they were involved. And again, for me, that's signaling another issue. You simply throw a stone, and if it lands on an Islamic organization, well, it feels like almost every single time there's some sort of connection to extremism. I'd say that's a pretty big problem. The problem's kind of baked in here.
Liberal hive mind, with all due respect, I think it's beyond a big problem. I think it's a huge problem. I think it's a problem that shouldn't even have existed in the United States of America, but here we are. So it isn't just a big problem, it's a huge problem.
Muslims who claim that it's unfair. Oh, it's unfair. We're facing discrimination. People judge us on the surface. It's Islamophobia. But again, is it? Or is it simply like the most logical and obvious correlation? It's an issue, and for me, it's a disqualifying issue. To be connected to funding for terrorist organizations, that's a problem. And even, frankly, at the most simple level.
I was actually about to say, you want us to look at you differently? Don't be a terrorist.
With the religious texts themselves that essentially call for me to be treated as a second-class citizen, for my people and my people's land to be conquered, through violence, I might add, for the glory of Allah, for me that's disqualifying. And if you can't condemn it, if you don't disassociate yourself from it, absolutely, well then again, I think it's disqualifying. And that's not discriminatory, that's not bigotry or racism, that's common frickin' sense. And when you have a candidate with all of these extremist ties, who seems to be doing his darnest to dismiss all of it, who refuses to condemn people like Hassan Piker and others, or even dissociate himself from the extremism baked into the religious text itself, but certainly doesn't have an issue condemning football, condemning everything American, with even one of his campaign strategists just this morning condemning Mike Rogers as essentially using KKK imagery for simply flying an American flag while driving a truck.
I want to talk about the Senate.
That's not KKK imagery. Again, it shows the amount of stupidity that these people are. If you're calling the American flag KKK imagery, you are beyond stupid.
Michigan, a staffer for Abdul El Sayed said a campaign video from Republican Mike Rogers driving around in a red pickup, as you can see here, with American flags on it, was racist. And he wrote on X, Mike Rogers, and I'm
That is not racist, and this is not 1960s white fight suburbs and KKK cross burnings. I don't know what this idiotic dumbass is getting at, but no, that's not it. That's not it. You see, they would actually be using the Confederate battle flag and swastikas. So nice try.
Mike Rogers' campaign has the aesthetics of a 1960s white flight suburb and a KKK cross burning. So, Griff, driving a pickup with an American flag means you're with the KKK. Are you kidding me?
We've reached the level of absurdity here. That is an antique red Ford pickup truck. Hating on pickup trucks in Michigan is like hating on cowboy boots in Texas.
They make pickup trucks in Michigan.
It's like hating on cheese in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's like hating on surfboards in Hawaii. Pickup trucks are synonymous with the state of Michigan. They're such a part of their daily life. Ford, obviously, is a driver of jobs in that state.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's where the car company started. Of course, might as well have that's an old school 1950s or so pickup, probably Chevy, possibly Ford. It's a nice truck. It's a dang nice truck. And yeah, that would make a good campaign image, I think. Shows he's pro-American. Shows he's all about the Motor City. There's nothing racist about this image. I don't know where they're getting racist from, but there's nothing racist about this image.
Reaching really a level, I think, of ridiculousness.
Very quick to condemn the American flag, to condemn anything American, yet absolutely nothing on the issue of Islamic extremism and third world extremism. Yeah, for me, I'd say that's concerning. In fact, I'd say that's highly concerning and should be to every American. And let's not pretend like it's some sort of a conspiracy theory or some blind hatred. I mean, it's quite literal. It's kind of just staring us right in the face. You had this Abdul El-Sayed character. Quite literally, it felt like indirectly advocating.
Yeah, they should, but they're not going to. And you do have a point. Yeah, it's not the General Lee. It's just a pickup truck. Like, but of course, it's racist. It's racist, guys.
Real law in America at a CARE event of all places. CARE, another organization tied to Islamic extremism.
There has been a big fight here in Texas between Governor Greg Abbott and the Muslim community after he designated the largest Muslim advocacy group as a foreign terrorist organization.
Let's go. I like that headline. ICE to deport Dallas Muslim leader. Let's go. That's a W.
North Texas, a Muslim community leader, Marwan Maroof here, is soon going to be deported. He's been in ICE custody since September, and then just last week, an immigration judge issued him a final order of removal. Now, according to DHS, Maroof is from Jordan and overstayed his visa. They shared, quote, Maroof was denied a lawful permanent resident visa due to his involvement with a foundation that provided material support for Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization. The Council of American Islamic Relations, known as CARE, has been fighting for Maroof's release, describing him as...
Yeah, well, Dark, apparently they're saying that pickup truck is racist, and it's KKK imagery. So apparently your grandfather is now in agreement with the KKK.
The community. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to this on X. He said, quote, this is another example of CARE Texas's support for Hamas and terror. Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as foreign terrorist organizations earlier this month. He said, quote, the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE have long made their goals clear: to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world. The act.
What was I just saying and during the other video chat? What was I just saying? Was I not saying that they are here to do the Muslim Brotherhood plan, the 100-year plan, which is invade our country, take power, make it collapse, and kill off the populace. Because this isn't just a plan to take over America, but this is the plan to take over the world.
By the Muslim Brotherhood and care to support terrorism across the globe and subvert our laws through violence, intimidation, and harassment are unacceptable.
And so the concern is valid. And so when you see someone like Abdul El-Sayed and you approach an individual like him with a general, tone of mistrust, it's not ignorance, it's not bigotry, it's legitimate concern that he may, in fact, be some sort of a subversive agent, a third worldist agent of chaos, covertly working to subvert America from within. I think that's a valid concern, and I think there's a lot of evidence to justify said concern. And well, here's more evidence. His own mother linked to a group that funded Osama bin Laden. That's what I call an absolute disqualifier. Anyways, that's what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, and I think he's right. His mom straight up backed Osama bin Laden. That should have been an automatic disqualifier for what Osama bin Laden has done to us, during the attacks of 9/11. Because regardless if it was an inside job or not, all right, we're going to throw that out for a minute. 9/11 was a true terrorist attack. They were going to attack America. They wanted to send a message. They wanted to kill Americans. So that was a very valid terrorist attack. With how the towers collapsed, that you guys can dispute that all you want. But guys, that's going to do it for me for this video. If you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the noti bell for any time I go live or other videos drop. You can also catch me weekly on kick.com/boondockstwisted87. I'm also on Twitter if you want to get a hold of me there. Till then, I'll see you guys next time. This is boondockstwisted87 signing off. Bye.
VM.